Wow, fantastic. So today we're going to be learning all the tricks, techniques by the experts from the experts. So I think, Anil sir, with your due permission, is it the time that we can start or we still have a few minutes to go? All right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to one and all. I am your host and host, Rupali Sapkal. Welcoming each one of you. First of all, congratulations because y'all are a part of GJS Hamara Apna Show. Can you please clap for ourselves? Come on, everybody. यार एनर्जी में उतना मुझे मजा नहीं आया वी हैव हैड लंच वी आर एनर्जेटिक कैन वी एक्सपेक्ट समथिंग मोर ये इधर था कम ऑन हाउ इज द जोश एवरीवन
Hi.
Hi, बोल देते. All right. Anyway, hi. But with this energy and enthusiasm, we are getting started, ladies and gentlemen. The first topic of Mindspeak seminars, and the topic rightly mentioned by this gentleman, which is how can Indian jewelers build a world-class luxury brand, right? I mean, that's an important topic to discuss, and we have the best team here today who's going to be guiding us. So, for centuries, French brands like Bulgari, Cartier, Louis Vuitton, and Hermes have set the gold standard for luxury. Am I right? Yeah? All right. Building a luxury brand of their stature demands a visionary approach, significant investment, patience, and a global footprint. Can Indian jewelers rise to this challenge and build a global luxury brand? So this session delves into the aspirations of Indian jewelers, exploring their confidence and strategies that can shape the future of India's luxury jewelry market. So ladies and gentlemen, so we have our esteemed speakers here with us today. So before I call them on the stage, I really want you all to please put your hands together and welcome them. We have Miss Devika Chitnis, PR Partnerships and Events, Zoya. Yeah. All right. So Ms. Chitnis, I really want you to be seated right there because you will be called on the stage by our esteemed moderator in some time. Well, it's just the time that we really want our esteemed speakers to feel good. I mean, it's really an honor to have them here with us today. Next, we also have among stars, Ms. Richa Singh, MD, Natural Diamond Council. Make some noise, everyone. We also have Mr. Manan Mehta, Head Client Development, Zoya. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have Mr. Anil Prabhakar, salesman turned an absolutely brilliant storyteller. Make some noise. And the father of all, well, the senior most, super talented and somebody with utter wisdom, ladies and gentlemen, past chairman GJC, Mr. Ashok Meenawala. And so I would really request you to please join me on the stage and welcome everybody. Please put your hands together, everyone, once again for our past chairman GJC, Mr. Ashok Meenawala.
Good afternoon, friends. Very warm welcome to all of you on this wonderful platform we call Mindspeak, something that we started way back in 2020 during the COVID times. It was about 15 days and we had nothing to do at home. And we said, why don't we start doing something which is discussing about our businesses and start discussing about what are the good things that are happening and what are the problems we're facing. So we created this platform, and at 2 o'clock in the afternoon every single day, we started doing this webinar for about 100 days. Little did we realize that we would reach almost 150,000 people. And in the industry who would have seen the webinars, and that was, I think, one of the big learnings for every single one, including the 4 or 5 of us who started this whole thing. And I think today it has become a brand in its own way, and it is a brand that belongs to the industry. GJF is taking care of it, and we're trying to bring it back into the scene once again with a lot of interest, with a lot of good heart and good mindset to make sure better sense prevails in the way we do things, in what we do, how we do things, and how can we actually help ourselves build a better business, how we can help ourselves to become better people in every single way. I think the words cannot express what can happen when people of like-mindedness, who have similar concepts, who have unique ideas of their own, who are in the same field of working, can really share with you. And this is, I think, that one platform that will help all of us. So I think I would not like to waste any time in this. There is a lot of discussion on the main subject of luxury that we are going to talk about. Something that I am also very close to and very fond of also, because I got into luxury way back in the 90s as a family jeweler when we started off getting into Swiss watches. And I started off with Piaget and Cartier, and some of the characteristics of the brand that were there, the learnings from the presidents of the company and the senior management of the company made us really understand how to do things in a better way, how you can sell luxury in a more effective manner, irrespective of whatever it is. I realize one thing at the end of the day, that India is India, the world is wherever it is. We have to do exactly things the way that are suitable to us. So when I say that we are sitting in any part of Maharashtra or any part of the second, third or fourth tier cities, you can still perform in the best way possible, but remain Indian, and you will still be able to do the best of the best that you can ever can. Irrespective of the world's best brands, we can build even better brands than them, because we have a deeper culture involved in our communities, in our societies, in our country, and let's follow that. So all the very best. I would like to invite Mr. Anil Prabhakar. He's a good friend of mine. He's helped me tremendously whenever I tell him. And this time he has stood as a partner in this entire program. He's also the moderator of this seminars over here. And today he's going to give us a wonderful presentation to start with before we kick off on many other issues. Anilji, please come. Thank you so much.
Thank you, friends, and thank you, Ashok Bhai. I'm here only because of you. And we have our association for the last 2 decades or so. So it so happened that when we decided to do Mindspeak seminars, I said, let's do luxury. He said, luxury, very old business. Why you want to do it now? So then we debated, what should be the title? Earlier we thought we will phrase the title as, Can India Build a Luxury Brand? Let's change it, because today India is in such a position that it is not can jewelers do a build, how can they do it? And why I am saying this? Because there have been so many changes happening. See, India all along has created the best of designs, the best of technology, but they have been job work they have been doing. And most of the French brands, whether Cartier, Montblanc, they have been sourcing jewelry from seeps. But now has come the time when Indians can build a luxury brand. And why? Because we went to 3 stores before we came to this conclusion. I'll tell you more about it. But let's begin with the formal presentation. So what is luxury? Luxury is overused term, not only in our industry but everywhere. It is also the most misunderstood, and sometimes it is misrepresented also. So luxury is something very personal and it is shaped by desire. So if you ask different people what luxury means to them, everybody will come with a different answer. So like I always like to say that, can you define love? Millions of poems have been written on love, but it doesn't really capture the essence of love. There are many facets. All diamond people, a diamond has so many facets. Likewise, love has many connotations. It is expressed in different ways. It has got different manifestations. So a Sufi saint, Jalaluddin Rumi, he came up with 7 stages of love. So we will not spend much time, but let's go over those 7 stages. Dilkashi, it begins with attraction. Then uns, or infatuation. Then comes ishq, love, passionate, profound and all-consuming. Aqidat, trust and reverence. Ibadat is worship. Junoon is madness, all-encompassing passion. Maut, it culminates into death. But the beauty of it is, love is not only romantic love. It is also worship, loving your fellow human being, love for the nature. There are so many facets to love. So as Gulzar has said, सिर्फ एहसास है ये रूह से महसूस करो, प्यार को प्यार ही रहने दो, कोई नाम न दो. The essence of luxury, much like love, cannot be explained. It must be felt, experienced, and then you will understand. So all this is fine. Poets I always say that, जहाँ न पहुँचे Ravi, वहाँ पहुँचे कवि. This is all fine. But when it comes to luxury as a business, so there are basically 3 types of luxury. It can be categorized into 3 parts. One is luxury assets. So when you buy a Raza painting or a Raja Ravi Verma painting, though it is a product, it is an asset. Then you have luxury services. You go and watch Phantom of the Opera. It's a luxury experience. You fly by business class, it's a luxury experience. And then finally, it comes to luxury products. And that's what we are going to talk about. So what are the characteristics of luxury brand? Everybody knows. Let's go fast on this. So there are 3 aspects. One is place of origin or provenance. Pashmina shawl, Swiss watch, French champagne, Swiss chocolates. So this has been a trend for all these years, simply because the countries wanted to capitalize on their specialities, but it is fast changing. Then heritage and legacy. So why does a brand need to have been in existence for so long? Because that's how credibility is built. Then as jewelers, we want to talk about the materials, the finest rubies and the finest sapphires and the best cut diamonds. So that is all about preciousness of materials. Artistry and craftsmanship. Any product cannot qualify to be a luxury brand. Sophistication and personalization. Zoya has come up with the concept of bespoke. It is personalization, right? Price. It has to be a premium price. Selective distribution is not available everywhere. If you say Breguet, does anybody know how many outlets Breguet sells? 1 or 2 in India. But you mention Breguet, it strikes a chord somewhere to the target audience, not everybody. Scarcity and control production. Hermes bag, they will produce less than the demand. Rolex watch, Daytona steel, there is a waiting list. That is selective production and selective controlled production, you would say. Exclusivity, only for certain people. And it's a very snobbish world. We will go into that aspect later. But let me share an example. I was working for Rado, and I was also dealing with Richemont. So Richemont guys used to come to the market and they say, Rado is not luxury. Then when Apple was launched, Apple is a luxury brand. Apple, luxury, it's a gadget. So it's a very snobbish word, and Apple wants to say that, we are luxury. Because globally, wherever the Apple stores are located, they will always be near, they will look at the adjacency. Even India has only one outlet. But go to the Geo mall and you will see the adjacencies. Otherwise, they will not sign up. Okay. Impeccable service. This is self-explanatory. Experiential and sensorial appeal. So this is very important. If you go to 3-4 stores and they will serve you bottled water in plastic bottles. But when you go to Zoya, they have glass bottles. And somebody was telling me, तेरे को पता है क्या? वो पानी की बोतल है ना 300 रुपए की है. I said, my goodness, it really didn't matter. But when he said 300 rupiah, I said, wow. So they are actually investing on not just customers but anybody who walks in. And if you go to visit different stores, the sensorial element is also in the fragrance they use in the showroom. And there are so many touch points. I will not go into details. International presence. This is the most important aspect. See, what has happened is now when we talk about Zoya as a luxury brand, अरे कहाँ एक इंडिया में तो है बाहर तो है ही नहीं. So that is how we judge. But now what has happened is we live in a digital era, digital age. And today, I was just reading a report put together by Tata Click. And they claim that they have sold a 30 lakh watch on the online. But it is not just online, it is assisted online. And what they say, see, internet or e-commerce is about faster transactions. They say we believe in slow commerce. But okay, that is one aspect. But you need to have presence across different cities in the world. So we'll discuss that when Zoya team comes and takes those chairs. Unique story. That is most important. Every brand has to tell a story. So what is the Zoya story? We'll listen to them. But let me tell here to everybody that Tiffany, what is the Tiffany of story? What is the story behind Tiffany? The moment you mention Tiffany to someone, they will say, "Arey, tennis bracelet." And oldies like us, breakfast at Tiffany's. Breakfast at Tiffany's, most of you were not born. You still remember. That movie is still remembered, and it is one of the best examples of brand placement in a film. Everybody remembers Audrey Hepburn, the yellow diamond, the glasses she wears. So that is the power of a story. Luxury is not about possession. It's about the experience, the story, and the feeling it evokes. So now what has happened? Everybody wants to progress in life, move up the social ladder. So the concept of luxury has also evolved. There are concepts such as, prestige, prestige for the masses, affordable luxury, accessible luxury. It has become a confusing word. That's what I said. So these brands offer the luxury experience for aspirational people. They are priced much lower, but they want to occupy mind space and market share as well. So this is a wonderful graphical representation of the pyramid, and it is taken from this book, Future Lux. I think everybody should read. It is a wonderfully written book. And the guy who has written the book is a snobbish Frenchman now working in America. He has worked for LVMH, he has worked for Richemont, and now is an investment banker. So he knows best of both the worlds. It's really a nice book.
The earlier slide, please.
Yeah.
That pyramid.
Okay, so this pyramid. So if you see this, the price point starts from $100, goes up to limitless. Okay? And it beautifully captures the concept of luxury. At the ground level, you have many stores selling these products. As you go higher, the number of point of sales keep on reducing. And to make the matters more confusing, every brand is into accessible core, premium core, super premium. So it's a confusing world. And that is why luxury is such a personal or a relatable concept to everybody. Okay, now Leena Nair, most of you must have heard. So she has beautifully expressed her thoughts on what is luxury and what is mass. I'll just play this video for you.
You know, it's when I look back, the toughest transition actually was from FMCG to luxury. Because for 30 years it was mass markets. You make 1 billion sachets a day. You're available everywhere. You over communicate. You're on every billboard. You have 400 brands. It's mass, mass, mass. And luxury is completely contrast. You make very little. You make like 5 pink bags. It's like a work of art. You don't know an artist who makes 500 paintings of the same type. This is like a work of art. You make those 5 bags and you let people see them, discover them, yearn for them, desire them, not find it in New York, go looking for them in Paris, not find them in Paris, but dream about them. It's a completely different mindset. It's precious, it's rare, it's unique. Everything is made by hand. It takes 180 steps to make a bag. It's 5 years on working on dummy bags before you can work on a classic, iconic Chanel bag. So it's completely different.
Thank you, Leena. I would not have been able to express in such precise terms. So give her a big hand. And for the simple reason that if you go America, all the technology companies, they are headed by Indian CEOs. But if you go to the luxury space, forget men, forget women, there are no men. She's the only one. She's the first of her kind. And I think she has done a wonderful job and she has completed 3 years, so she is going to last. So who are the key players? We'll also go through this very quickly. See, there are, luxury has always been a European phenomenon. And I explained to you that American brands have been trying. So there were 2 iconic brands of American origin, Harry Winston and Tiffany. Harry Winston has been taken over by Swatch Group, which is a Swiss conglomerate, way back in 2013. And as all of you know, Tiffany is now with LVMH. So it is complete domination by Europeans and more particularly French. So let's go over quickly which are the groups which are into luxury. Kering, which is the most famous brand, is Gucci. Now there is another confusing thing. There is hard luxury and that is soft luxury. So hard luxury is basically watches, jewelry and pens, but hardly any people use pens. Otherwise there was an aura around fountain pens and writing pens. So that is hard luxury. And soft luxury, Hermes is the leader because of its iconic bags. They are soft to touch. So soft luxury. And when this Joya team comes, they will make it more complicated. They will say slow luxury, fast luxury, what warm luxury, cold luxury. So I will wait for them to come on the stage. Then there is LVMH, everybody knows. Papa Bernard Arnault is the big daddy. Okay. Then Richemont Group, based in Geneva. And it has got a substantial presence as far as the jewelry is concerned. Cartier is one of them. Van Cleef and Arpels. So let's go over quickly. Swatch Group, it is mostly into watches, world leader in watches, but they have Harry Winston. So Harry Winston is one brand which you should feel proud of for the simple reason that it has India connection. The first India connection is because royalty used to buy, but it is also because of Ambaji Shinde, an Indian born in Goa. Very humble background, he shifted to New York and till the end of his career he used to travel by bus. And he was the backbone behind Harry Winston. So Indians, please give him a big hand. That's a tribute to him, Ambaji Shinde. Prada group is Italian, one of the few brands. So there was one brand, Buccellati, which was Italian, again taken over by Richemont. See, these groups have phenomenal appetite. They want to acquire brands if they can't build. Strong monobrand companies, I told you Hermes, Chanel, you heard the lady. And by the way, Chanel is, Louis Vuitton is number 1. So second position fluctuates between either it is Hermes or Chanel. Okay. And pure play jewelry brands, luxury houses like David Yurman and Graf. See, the comparison for our discussion today, Zoya is the brand which we are going to talk about. Of course, Narayan Jewellers could not come. but their product line is only jewelry. So I think the comparison between with David Yurman and Graf is more apt, rather than comparing with products with brands which have multiple products. So these are the brands which I told you about. Okay, so as I told you in the beginning, the best way to understand luxury is to experience it. So we went to 3 stores together. I dragged him out of his office, and then we went to the 3 stores. So which are the 3 stores? House of Rose, Zoya, and Sabyasachi. All 3 are different in the way they express themselves. Okay, luxury brands express themselves in different ways. The concepts of silent and loud luxury have gained prominence in recent times. So let me take you to the first store that we visited. It's a good video.
Welcome to the House of Rose. Welcome to the clouds of luxury. When I used to come and stand here, every part of the day the light would change. So this reminded me of the hanging gardens of Babylon. Good afternoon, Anil bhai.
Good afternoon. Such a pleasure to be here. And I have yet to see a store like this in India. So now let's go to Zoya store. I think this session should have been sponsored by Zoya. I am doing all the talking. This is the car store, right? We go to the next store. बस हो गया. So look at the way a brand expresses itself in many ways, in terms of the imagery, in terms of the colors, in terms of the collections. That's what I was trying to tell you. I think picture speaks louder than words, so you would have got the gist of what I was trying to say. Now, for this panel, I wanted to invite the brand custodians of all these three. Biren Bhai, good friend, he's in Geneva. He's gone for business. And Sabya is Sabya. But I was able to get a short clip of his interview. I think it's very interesting. Everybody should watch. So here we go.
We make it very, very tough for the consumer to shop with us. We never go on discount. We don't customize.
No.
We have a very strict Sabyaism in the clothes. When I started doing jewelry, there was a lot of conversation about the quality of my jewelry because I think the entire jewelry industry clamped down upon me because they realized that if he gets into jewelry, a lot of us will have to pack our bags and leave. I think jewelry is doing well in India, but I think it's doing incredibly well outside India. I would like to say that the West is just beginning to discover Sabya. In a country, a lot of luxury is bought with black money. We do not allow people to come and buy anything from the brand if they do not have financial credentials. I don't spend money on advertising my stores. I build stores as advertisement. This is such an exuberant country. I don't understand why we even want to do minimalism in this country.
So all these brands are as different as chalk and cheese. And for Sabya, I would say that he's a very good storyteller. Not whatever he says is 100% true. He says, I don't advertise. 10 pages in Vogue. Where is that Vogue lady? She was there with you, right? Ex-Vogue. 10 pages in Vogue. And he says, I don't advertise. Secondly, that bite is not in this interview. He says, by 2030, my jewelry business will be $3 billion. Good luck. He also says, then in the same breath, see how luxury is very confusing. He says, I am a luxury brand and I am going to compete with Tanishq and Cartier. Tanishq says that we are not luxury. And he says, so what I am trying to say is luxury is different things to different. दोस्तों मजा आ रहा है? माहौल बन रहा है? तो यार ताली वाली बजाओ यार. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. So just showing visuals from Indian stores is not going to do the trick. So let's fly. Visa or no passport not required. Let's go on a virtual tour. David Yurman.
Little bit of me, a little bit of you. You can come to me, a little
Okay, David Yurman is not in the top of the heap, but it is an international brand. It is a quintessential American brand, and when they opened their outlet in Paris, this is what they did. So why I showed this store opening video to you, because it reminds me of Titan and Tanishq. In the 90s, they did a similar activity when they launched their watches and jewelry in France, in Paris, and they also took these kind of hoardings. But they were before their time, and that's why it didn't work out. But Zoya, in a way, is a tribute to Jersis Desai, whose dream they want to fulfill. That's what Venkat told me. That is what is mentioned in his book also. So moving on, the last video is graph. साउंड येत नाही रे. you see Graph, it is top of the heap, most expensive. It has got few outlets, but it's spread internationally, and that is what a consumer who understands luxury and the rarity of material, all those characteristics. So they Graph for them is the ultimate. So now I told you about this book, Future Lux. So what Erwan has done, he has, according to him, there are 21 predictions. So we are not going to go and revise all those 21 predictions, but 2-3 predictions I'll share with you here. For the first time, any luxury book has the mention of India, and this book was written in 2020. So you can imagine your progress. We are in 2025 now. So India is on the right track. And one very important aspect which I forgot to tell you, that apart from all these brands, I forgot Motabhai Ambani. Isha is working on launching a luxury brand. So wait for 3 years. I think Tatas will have a competition. Okay guys, let's move on. Okay, this is also, Hemanta, you were mentioning about millennials and Gen Z. This is what it is. Because the second generation, whether it is Bernard Arnault's sons or that Henry's son, they are all millennials and they are taking up responsible positions in luxury companies. And okay, so Bernard Arnault and Jeff Bezos, they alternate positions. Sometimes Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world, sometimes Bernard Arnault is the richest man. It depends on the valuation. It depends on the stock price. Okay, and this is the most important slide. Please read carefully. Okay, so they say future is female, but I disagree. The past was female, the present is female, and the future is female. To give you an example, if a man goes and buys a suit in a store, he will try everything, he will do it, and then he will say, बीवी को लेके आता हूँ, गर्लफ्रेंड को लेके आता हूँ, फाइनल करेंगे. He goes to a jewelry store, he buys something, ये बीवी के लिए ले रहा हूँ. Exchange मिलेगा ना? दूसरा change करके देगा ना? Okay. So that's the soft power which a woman yields. And I mentioned about love. So whenever I want to buy something which is precious and premium, I always take my wife. And she is very value conscious. So when she buys a product, anything for her, she will always look at what is the price. But when she buys for me, it is, for the first time in my life, I bought a pair of shoes, 15,000. That's love. So the idea, Manan, you are distracting me. Please, sorry. The idea that a woman is going to head a luxury company is not a distant dream. The process has already begun. You saw Leena, Richa is here, Aman is here. In fact, do you know that Sabyasachi CEO is a lady? Mattu, right? So I invited her as well. So the process has begun. It's an idea whose time has come, and no power on earth can stop an idea whose time has come. Ladies, your time has come. Please give them a big hand. देखो कितने कंजूस हैं. कितने कंजूस हो यार आप लोग. Miss Richa Singh, please, you are the first one to join on the panel. Welcome. Please. Devika. Welcome. Manan. Ashok bhai. थोड़ा मेरा हो जाना थोड़ा ये थोड़ा बीच में आ रहा है यू कैन मूव दिस sorry guys I took a lot of your time but I think now the action really starts so we'll begin with Richa now. तुम्ही मला पाठवलं ठीक आहे तुम्ही जवळ या अरे यांच्याबरोबर बसा सो रिचा यू आर अ moderator's delight. The way she expresses herself instant connect. And she has got a excellent track record. She has been a communicator. She was working for a ad agency. Then she moved on to L'Oreal. She understands luxury. And now with NDC, she has an exposure to Asia, Middle East, India. She's been going around in so many countries, and she is going to the stores, interacting with the sales associates. She knows the owners for sure. So there's a lot of learnings. So I would like her to share her thoughts on, see, diamond is a luxury product, but as David Kelly said during the Dubai conference, there are not many brands. Forget luxury, there are very few brands. So can you connect the dots? Can you share your experience?
थैंक यू अनिल जी इज़ वेरी काइंड. हिंदी में बात करूँ चलेगा?
बिल्कुल दौड़ेगा.
प्रेफर क्या करेंगे, हिंदी में बात करूँ कि इंग्लिश में? ओ चलो मिक्स इंग्लिश आ गया. अरे हाँ आशीष. मैं थैंक यू अनिल जी, बट मैं थोड़ी सी डिसएग्रीमेंट में हूँ अनिल जी की डेफिनेशन ऑफ.
वो तो हमेशा ही कहती हो आप.
लग्जरी इज़ वेरी पर्सनल टू मी. मेरी एट दिस टाइम आई एम अ वुमन हु ट्रैवल्स अ लॉट फॉर वर्क. मेरी सबसे बड़ी लग्जरी है अपनी माँ के हाथ के आलू के पराठे खाना. मैं सरदार हूँ. हाँ, तो आलू पराठा इज़ लाइक इंटेग्रल टू मी. कोई महाराष्ट्रन अनफॉर्चुनेटली कैन नॉट मेक जो मेरी माँ बनाती है. यस, लग्जरी है कि नहीं है? मेरे हिसाब से ज्वेलरी लग्जरी है. यू वर्क टूवर्ड्स इट, यू एस्पायर, यू ड्रीम ऑफ बाइंग अ पीस ऑफ ज्वेलरी. चाहे आप वो 6,000 का ब्रेसलेट खरीदो, चाहे 60 लाख का खरीदो, ज्वेलरी लग्जरी है. For every woman, it's something that you feel good about. For me, definition of luxury is something that makes you feel special. जब मैंने शुरू किया, हमारे पास ज़्यादा पैसे नहीं थे. For me, luxury was going out to eat, क्योंकि हम घर में खाना खाते थे. मेरे बच्चों के लिए याउचा भी लग्जरी नहीं है, क्योंकि वो रोज़ जाते हैं. मेरा बच्चा मुझे कहता है, तो क्या हो आपके पास ये गाड़ी है? हम तो we are not very rich, mama. Why are we not rich? Because we don't always fly business class. I'm like, no, we are very rich, we fly. So definition of luxury changes by person, I agree. But today luxury is what makes you feel special. It is not defined by the price of the product. आपने कहा लुई विटॉन नंबर 1 है. मैं लुई विटॉन कैरी करती हूँ. अगेन आई सेड सरदार हूँ, तो लुई विटॉन होना मैंडेटरी है सब सरदारों के घर में. बट मेरा पति एलवी नहीं लगाएगा. ही इज़ पंडित एंड ही सेड सबको दिखेगा मैंने क्या पहना. आई कैन नॉट डू इट. एंड इट्स अगेंस्ट हिम कि अगर मैं उसको कहीं पे एलवी दिखेगा या मोनोग्राम दिखेगा वो चीज़ नहीं पहनेगा. Because it is just not okay. It's your personal taste. So for me, anything that makes you feel special is luxury. How you make them feel special, whether it's your quality of product, whether it's the experience, and I am a big fan of product and experience that Zoya provides. So it's either, but it's a combination of how you feel. It's not to do with, मैं आपको कह रही हूँ सबसे, I feel that सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम हमारी इंडस्ट्री की ये है कि आप लोग नहीं बिलीव करते कि आप लग्जरी हो. इन्होंने बोला इन्होंने बीस्पोक शुरू किया. कोई ऐसा ज्वेलर है हिंदुस्तान में जो बीस्पोक नहीं है? आपको आके औरत कहती है ये थोड़ी सी लटकन बदल देना भैया, आप कहते हो हाँ. वो कहती है मेरे थोड़े से पैसे कम है, आप कहते हो वायर जो है ना वो सोने की मत लगाओ, दूसरी लगा लो, पीछे पेच दूसरा कर. यू ट्वीक इट. टिफनी डजंट. यू आर मोर बीस्पोक देन टिफनी इज टुडे. यू प्रोवाइड अ कलेक्शन. वो कहती है इधर से एक टुकड़ी उतार दो, उधर से वायर ऐसी कर दो, बदलो. आप सब करके देते हो उसको. You are the most customized product and you have been there since the beginning. मैं एग्जाम्पल दे रही हूँ. इन्होंने कहा मैं लॉरियल से आई हूँ. हमको चाइना लेके गए एंड हमको दिखाया जा रहा था कि न्यू एज लग्जरी क्या है. राइट, चाइना वॉज नोन फॉर, शंघाई इज दी हब. दिस इज प्री लॉकडाउन. शंघाई वॉज ओपन फॉर अस. वी हैव गॉन इनटू अ स्टारबक्स की दुकान. स्टारबक्स के बाद हम एक ज्वेलरी स्टोर में गए. हम अंदर घुसे, उसका रेटिना स्कैन हुआ ऑटोमेटिकली. यू आर वॉकिंग इन, दे कैन स्कैन योर फेस. Basis that it flashes who you are, and this is 5-7 years ago. It's pre-lockdown, and it said, "Hello XYZ, you know you." And then it went on to, "आपने ये ring खरीदी थी. We have something that can match them." Do you know? All of us came out and said, "This is creepy. This is not luxury." क्योंकि मैं अंदर जा रही हूँ, आप आके कल तो इसको ये भी पता होगा मेरा बैंक बैलेंस क्या है, मेरा इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न क्या है क्या. It was creepy. और हम में से कोई ऐसा contingent था बड़ा, and we were a large group of senior people and we said this is not luxury. आपके पास कोई कंज्यूमर आता है, पर्सनली कहते हो आइए भाभी जी आपकी पोती कैसी है, आपकी पोती का बर्थडे कैसा था, आप इधर जब गए थे उसको आपको पता है कि आपको चाट पसंद है कि नहीं, आप चाय में चीनी डालते हैं कि नहीं, आपकी बहन क्या है, आपकी बेटी क्या है, चाची क्या, सब पता है आपके ज्वेलर को. यू फील स्पेशल क्योंकि जब आप जाते हैं, जैसे आपके घर वालों को पता है, आपके ज्वेलर को पता है कि आप चाय पीती हैं कि कॉफ़ी पीती हैं. That's luxury. That's why she comes and sits with you. She trusts your recommendation when you say, please buy this. She trusts your word for it. That's what our industry is built on. For me, we are the perfect example of the best luxury category in the world. And this sense of pride should belong to you. He just said, हम 200 साल से हैं. Thank you. But हम 200 साल से हैं. All of you will talk about 3 generations, 4 generations of jewelers. You have passed on. How do you keep your next generation excited about it? मैं आपको सबसे एग्जाम्पल आपसे जब पूछती हूँ, जब फर्स्ट जनरेशन अशोक भाई यहाँ बैठे हैं, फर्स्ट जनरेशन इनकी शुरू हुई, उनके पास उन्होंने शौक से किया, लर्निंग से किया. इनके बेटों के पास चॉइस थी. योर किड्स हैव अ चॉइस ऑफ जॉइनिंग यू और नॉट जॉइनिंग यू. If they are coming back to you, there is something exciting about your category, something exciting about your industry. That's job well done to you and what you can bring to the world. I think that we have the roots of it. हमारे पास सबके पास जड़ें हैं. What we do with that is in our hands. I will end on one small thing to tell you that how ready the consumer is. I feel that there is something special about what we already bring to the table. And it is not about, there was a time हम जाते थे, बाहर जाते थे, हम कहते थे हमको, लोग मजाक उड़ाते थे कि आप बॉलीवुड के रनिंग अराउंड ट्रीज है. हम यूरोप जाते थे. I worked for 15 years in a French company, so there was a certain hesitation. Today's generation is so proud to go out and ask for Indian food in any part of the world. You go to Buddha bar in Paris today, कोई रात ऐसी नहीं होगी जहाँ पे हिंदी के गाने नहीं बजते, पंजाबी के गाने नहीं बजते. कोई, I have gone to Montana this year, उधर मैं AP ढिलन सुन के आई हूँ. And there is a sense of pride. I go with confidence and says, हाँ हम पेड़ों के पास नाचते हैं, क्या प्रॉब्लम है? नहीं है ना? Because we have that confidence and the pride of being Indian, that has changed over the last 10 years. We were trying to become more American, more French. Today we say, हमको मालाइका भी उतनी ही देखनी है जितनी हमको किम कार्दाशियन देखनी है, या इंग्लिश मूवी भी हम उतनी ही देखते हैं जितनी रॉकी और रानी देखते हैं. कोई शर्म नहीं है. Today's generation wants it all. The difference is that you guys, we guys as an industry are not upgrading the experience, because every person who's coming into your store can see what is happening in the world, what is the experience a Harry Winston or Tiffany is providing elsewhere, जो पहले मेरे लिए नहीं था जब मैं छोटी थी. So today if you can, your person expects the Indianness. मैं चाट भी खाऊंगा, बट मेरी जर्नी आपके स्टोर्स में डिजिटाइजेशन भी होनी चाहिए और आप इंस्टाग्राम पे भी उतने ही अच्छे लगने चाहिए जितना टिफनी लगता है. So today the consumer wants it all. She's not making a choice. We are a generation who had to choose. हमें ये चाहिए या ये चाहिए. आजकल की कोई जनरेशन में कोई बच्चा ये नहीं कहता मुझे ये चाहिए ये चाहिए. उसको लहंगा भी चाहिए और उसको मिनी स्कर्ट भी चाहिए. उसको इंडिया में, राजस्थान में भी एक फंक्शन करना है और उसको पेरिस में प्रपोजल भी चाहिए. So the consumer wants it all. She's dreaming of it all. She may not get it all, but she's dreaming of it all. You are not saying कि मैं एक करूँगा तो दूसरा नहीं करना. मैं इतनी अमेरिकन हो रही हूँ कि मैं इंडियन खाना नहीं खा रही हूँ. मैं पास्ता भी उतने शौक से ही खाती हूँ जितने शौक से मैं अपना दाल चावल खाती हूँ. And there is no hesitation, there is no pretentiousness. I'm proud of that. So you guys need to do the same translation to your store. He spoke about saying experience. Today I sit in this room and saying, आप लोग एक दूसरे की तरफ देख के कहते हैं, this is my competition. I say your biggest competition is F&B today. Talk to a 25-year-old और उससे पूछो तूने किधर खर्चे अपने महीने की तनख्वाह. सबसे ज़्यादा तनख्वाह उसने खाने पीने पे खर्ची है, आप पे नहीं खर्ची है. आपका कंपटीशन आपकी बाजू वाली दुकान नहीं है, खाना पीना है. क्योंकि वो हर हफ्ते जाके कहीं पे, आज अपने दोस्तों के साथ, कल माँ बाप के साथ, परसों सेलिब्रेशन के लिए, पैसे इन चीज़ों पे जाए. पैसे तो उतने ही है ना. सो टुडे यू आर लूजिंग आउट टू अ गैजेट. आई कैन जस्टिफाई कि मैं हर साल जाके एप्पल का, ही सेड एप्पल इज लग्जरी और नो. माई हस्बैंड थिंक्स इट्स अ प्योर वेस्ट ऑफ मनी. आई बिलीव दैट एप्पल इज अ ब्रांड. आई नीड इट. मेरे पूरे खानदान के पास एप्पल है. हर साल मैं 1.5 लाख का एक फ़ोन खरीदती हूँ. You can't even tell a 22-year-old कि हर साल जाके तू डायमंड की इयरिंग खरीदा 2.5 लाख के, वो बोलेगी क्यों? I feel that we are not doing enough to be cool for her. You know, she will look at it and say, इस जगह पे vibe है. I'm going to pick a way. I sat with Saurabh Gadkil 2 minutes before I came up. I was telling him, he was talking about restaurants here and says, vibe नहीं थी उधर. I kept saying, खाना अच्छा था, हाँ अच्छा था. Service अच्छी थी, but vibe नहीं थी. There is an intangible to everything you provide, and it's not just the product. Good quality product is a hygiene, guys. कुछ नहीं हो सकता. आप brand build कर लें, आपके पास product नहीं है, आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते. Good quality product is a hygiene. Craftsmanship is a hygiene. Design quality is a hygiene. आपको कुछ करना पड़ेगा. White shirt Zara भी बेचता है, H&M भी बेचता है, Gucci भी बेचता है. आप premium अलग-अलग देते हो. खरीदता हर जगह का white shirt is a big SKU. What you get out of it is in your hands. And I do not think when you're saying discounting, brands don't discount, you know, Sabyasachi just said I don't discount. Bullshit, he came up with an H&M collection. H&M से सस्ता brand पता है? He came up with an H&M collection, right? So you want to, चाहे तूने 5 product launch किए, तुझे audience चाहिए. It is not it is how you sell it. It's gone to a cheapest brand, it's not gone discounted. So it's how you position. आप लोग banner लगाते हैं और बोलते हैं मैं इतना discount दे रहा हूँ. नहीं, अगर आप अपनी रिस्पेक्ट नहीं रखेंगे, आई कीप सेइंग, अगर आप ही नहीं बोलोगे आप लग्जरी हो तो कंज्यूमर क्यों बोलेगा आप लग्जरी हो? मेरी माँ नहीं बोलती ज्वेलर लग्जरी है, बट टुडे हर मोस्ट फेवरेट एक्सपीरियंस इज गोइंग टू अ ज्वेलरी स्टोर एंड बाइंग अ यू आस्क फॉर एनीथिंग कि उनको क्या चाहिए, क्या लेती हैं आप? वो सब कुछ है ना उनके पास. देयर इज समथिंग व्हिच मेक्स अ वुमन फील स्पेशल. आई कीप सेइंग आई लुक इन द मिरर, I feel special when I have diamonds in my ears. If you can make a woman feel special, she will come back to you. And that's a luxury experience. So for me, you know, it's a combination of आप कितनी खुशी से, आपका sales staff कितनी pride से बेचता है, कितनी conviction से बेचता है, and it's in your hand. That enough of a beginning?
So other people, you know, other people.
मैं 3 घंटे बेच सकती हूँ, आप बोलिए कितना time?
Half an hour left.
नहीं,
Don't worry.
She said not it now.
एक्शन रिप्ले नहीं यार, इनको भी बोलने दो.
औरों को भी.
नो मैं क्या बोलना, एक ही सेंटेंस कहूंगा कि अदर्स यूज देयर वोकल कॉर्ड्स व्हेन दे स्पीक. रिचा स्पीक्स फ्रॉम द हार्ट. गिव हर अ बिग हैंड.
Thank you.
So now let's move to Zoya. Zoya literally means life.
Being alive.
Being alive or life.
Yes.
So what is the thought process behind Zoya? What is the story? What is Zoya's story?
I think I agree with Richa when she says it's about making that woman feel special, right? For us, when we think about Zoya, it goes for special means seen. Do you make her feel seen, right? For us, Zoya as a muse, the core woman, is actually on this journey where she's achieved everything and more that the world asked her to do, right? She's been born for the world and now she's born for herself. And the story and the journey is actually quite inward. It's the feminine journey. It's the heroine's journey, right? So that's where we are. We want to say that you've been born for the world. You've done all the things that you are. Let us see and celebrate you for who you really are inside. Your spirit, your soul, right? I want to show you a film which is called Reborn. And I just want you to take a deep breath because हम लोग बहुत फुर्सत में jewelry बनाते हैं. So I just want you to just like kind of calm yourself down and see this movie. Stay with us and then we'll connect.
Okay, it's above us, right?
Hey, video
Can
दाखव.
you see it?
Will it cover?
I have seen it, so आप
नहीं,
मुंडी टेढ़ी कर सकते.
मैंने दिखा. Will it cover the screen? We will not.
नहीं, they can you
We
see?
can actually move a little bit. We really want you to see this. Can we turn down the lights?
Light dim. Can we dim the lights, please? Okay, we'll make do.
The white light
Some of us are born twice. The first time for the world. The second time for ourselves. Reborn. Solitaires by Zoya.
Play the second one also.
So this is actually our solitaire collection that we've just launched, right? So this phrase means reborn. So when you look at this journey that I'm talking about, right? The one where a woman goes inward and connects with her feminine spirit. There are about largely 3 stages to it. First is embrace, which means you accept who you are inside, you know. Second is reborn, which is now that you've embraced yourself, you've born for the world, and now you are born for yourself. You know, you come into your own. And the final stage is alive. That once you've reconnected to your feminine self, you are vital, you're alive. And that's our story.
So can you tell us something more about the Zoya Muse? Because I read somewhere that your Zoya Muse is in the age bracket of 38 and above. Why 38? Why not 37? Why not 39? So can you tell us about your muse and what 38 has to do with your muse?
30. Now, I mean, to go and even live for the world, you need some time, right? You can't be born or reborn. First, you have to be born to be reborn to start with, right? So when you even look at our model here, it's intentionally she is someone who's lived her life, right? Because these are women who have built their careers. They are women who have had their families. They have actually lived every sort of label there is to be kind of lived. And now you're saying, hey, this is done. I need to figure out what do I want. And that takes time. That's the heroine's journey, which is different than the hero's journey. The hero's journey is, there's a man, there's a dragon, I need to vanquish that, and hey, I'm a hero. That's well, similar to a heroine's journey. You have to do that to start on this journey to yourself. So it's a very mature and nuanced way that we do. And that kind of also reflects in the way we build our business. We are taking, and I say that again, hum fursat se, time se, selectively, we kind of build it out. I'll also let Manan speak a little bit about this because...
And also add your bit on why solitaires and why so late. Because solitaires have been around for centuries, right guys? So let us hear from them why solitaires and why now and what is so special about their solitaires. So you can, both of you can take us through.
Hi, good afternoon. Good to see you all and be here with you all. I think the DNA of Zoya comes and is inherited from the ethos of the Tatas, right? And we all would agree that Tata stands for India and has taken so many of us global. And we've just taken a leaf out of that and put the codes in place of luxury and redefined it in our own ways. And I think it's an outcome of that warmth, serving exclusivity through the warmth that we deliver it. And we always look at Western brands to serve exclusivity in a very snobbish way, right? But at Zoya, we do it in our own warm way, and we've all experienced Taj do it. Now Zoya does it. So if you walk into any Zoya store, we hope that it remains consistent. And there are some anecdotal incidences that I've experienced in my tenure at Zoya, where customers end up spending 6 to 8 hours. I'm sure each one of us in our own business would love to spend more time facing the consumer. But it's so nice that ordinary people who are professionally attached to this brand go over and above the call of duty and often end up spending time till 4 a.m. keeping our boutiques open for a customer just to listen them out. And that comes from also, we take a leaf out of the world of the heroine's journey that we built. And I think that warmth is what really differentiates, and empathy. I think what we miss out in the business that we are in, that lady is coming to celebrate herself, right? And empathy is such a big factor. What Richa was saying, I think what she's also trying to say is that we are not trying to chase that sale. You know, we are looking at a share of life that would eventually lead to the share of wallet. I think some of these codes are actually put in place, and if you look at Titan's DNA also, it's like all of us are ordinary people trying to build something so extraordinary like Zoya that has the wheels to go global. And some of these things make us who we are. It's the people that makes us who we are, and that's what I think.
So there are two Gujaratis on this panel, Ashok Bhai and Manan. And Gujaratis know how to make money. They also know how to spend money. And they are constantly traveling, Antwerp, Dubai, New York, Hong Kong. You know, Amitabh Bachchan says, कुछ दिन तो गुजारिए गुजरात में. It is not for the tourists. It is for the Gujus. Please come home. Okay. On this lighter note, I want to ask both of you. So when the Gujaratis buy, first comment of Ashok Bhai when we walked out of your store, 300% markup che. No, this guy is a Palanpuri living in South Bombay. His father is into diamond business. तो तू बगड़ी गयो के सुधरी गयो बन्ने जणा हमने जरा एनलाइटन करो. हाउ डू गुजरातीज बाय, वेयर डू दे सी वैल्यू, एंड डू यू थिंक they will pay premium? Because everybody, some relative of the other is in the diamond industry. So both of us, enlighten us.
I'll take this one. I'll take it. I'm a student of two gentlemen sitting out here in some form, right? One is sitting on the first bench, and Ashok Bhai in some way when I started off. When I entered Titan, the first learning that I got is Hirano Dhando Buline retail karwa jao. Means forget the raw material and then come here. Because the thing is, we all sitting in this room somewhere have a hangover of the raw materials. And we forget the consumer in the process. And I think that was my biggest learning, that I think that can serve so many of us because we tend to forget the consumer. I think profit, product, diamonds is an outcome of the feeling that we are able to deliver. And I don't know if they've done a good job in training me, but I would assume you have nowhere but to praise me in this.
I'm not Gujarati. I do not make too much money. He said he wants to speak last. I don't think when you talk to a consumer that she comes and thinks कि मैं इतना margin दे रही हूँ नहीं दे रही. Tata Tanishq is proof of pudding. Like I know he said 300% margin, but Zoya is an experience. The store is beautiful. I travel to, but she said 38. I do not know 38 years का क्या logic है, but it's a journey. जो मेरे लिए favorite store है मेरी बेटी के लिए नहीं है. He put up and said David Yeoman. He put up Harry Winston. By the way, my child doesn't want to open the door of any of those stores. She thinks Harry Winston is made for Dadi ji and not for her. It's a journey you take. And I think आप again ऐसी category में हो जो age agnostic है. I'll give you a category I draw parallel to. मैं अपनी team को जब train कर रही होती हूँ, मेरी favorite category to explain, brand to explain who did it all, Nike. 4 साल से बच्चा पहनना शुरू करता है, 90 साल तक आपके फादर ग्रैंडफादर नाइकी पहन रहे हैं. सबके लिए वो ब्रांड कूलर, सबके लिए एक्साइटिंग है. 3,000 रुपए का भी बिकता है, 3 लाख का भी बिकता है. बताइए कैसे बेच लेते हैं? And they stay relevant to all. Yes, no. Even a child, a 6-year-old is asking you for Nike when he goes to school. My pop is 82 this year. He's telling me he will wear Nike because it's what makes him feel special. Product is a given. I told you again. You're all in a category. Product, quality, color, collection मैंने छोड़ दी. Relevance देखी आपने. Only category which is वो आपको discount पे भी मिलता है, Amazon पे भी मिलता है, Off-White collab में भी मिलता है, Dior collab में भी मिलता है. मिलता है ना, सबके लिए रेलेवेंट है ना. जो 4,000 की चीज़ खरीदता है उसको बोलो मेरे लिए अगर मेरा, एंड आई एम पिकिंग, सॉरी आई एम बीइंग पॉलिटिकली इनकरेक्ट हियर, अगर मेरी दीदी घर में फेयर एंड लवली लगाती है, मैं नहीं लगाती हूँ, बट नाइकी मेरे ड्राइवर भी पहनते हैं और मैं भी पहनती हूँ. कैसे रहे आप रेलेवेंट है ना कि स्टडी समझने के लिए. आई नीड यू गाइज टू लुक आउट ऑफ योर कैटेगरी एंड नॉट वन, एंड एवरीबडी विल चूज अ नीश. आप सबके साथ नहीं बात कर सकते. आप मेरी बेटी के लिए रेलेवेंट हो, पर अगर मेरी बेटी आपके स्टोर में आती है तो आपके पास कुछ है क्या उसके लिए, आप कैसे इंगेज कर सकते हैं. मैं टिफ़नी का एग्जाम्पल देती हूँ. We went to Tiffany had an exhibition recently means a couple of years ago. They did, X number of years, 100 साल, 150 साल. अभी किसी ने अभी बोला किसी ने कि हम 198 years हो गए हैं, आज कोई बोल रहा था. उन्होंने एक एग्जीबिशन की, प्योर 3 stories ऑफ एग्जीबिशन, नो प्रोडक्ट सेल, नो नथिंग. एक में जर्नी था, एक में सिर्फ एंगेजमेंट रिंग था, ये था. हम देखने गए, लाइन में खड़े हुए हैं, बुकिंग की है. मेरे बच्चे जब अंदर गए हैं वो क्या करेंगे, दे हैड डिस्पेंसिंग मशीन, जैसे कोका कोला का डिस्पेंसिंग मशीन लगी होती है, ब्लू कलर की, टिफनी के कलर में डिस्पेंसिंग मशीन थी, जहाँ पे वो फ्रेग्रेंस बेच रहे थे, रेंजिंग फ्रॉम 7,000 रुपीज़, 8,000 रुपीज़ टू गोइंग अप टू 25,000 रुपीज़ इन अ डिस्पेंसिंग मशीन. But it was branded beautifully. There was a guy standing there. It was exciting. The people who are walking in. पर उनके स्टोर के लिए वो चीज़ सस्ती थी. But there was an experience, right? So everybody who walked in, who was standing to see it, they were not selling jewelry there. They were selling an extended part of a vibe, a feeling there. And yes, exactly like you said, there was a glass bottle there, there was an experience, but the attempt wasn't to sell. The attempt was to get the person back to you because they will fall in love with your experience, your journey. And you're going to start speaking. You cannot make a sale today to a consumer with one touch point. मैं एग्जाम्पल अपने माई बाप का दे रही थी. आई एम फंडेड बाई डिबियर्स, सो प्लीज नोट. डिबियर्स डिड अ कैंपेन. आई स्टार्टेड माई करियर व्हेन दे वर मेकिंग द फर्स्ट कैंपेन विच वॉज हीरा है सदा के लिए. एक ऐश्वर्या राय की कैंपेन निकली थी, नक्षत्र आप लोगों का. वो एक कैंपेन ऐश्वर्या घूमी थी, सब ज्वेलर्स ने अपनी दुकान में उसका पोस्टर लगाया था, सब ने सेम प्रोडक्ट लगाया था. इट्स सोल्ड. इट्स वन ऑफ अ बिगेस्ट सक्सेस स्टोरीज, राइट? आई वॉजंट इन दिस इंडस्ट्री, आई वॉज ऑन द अदर साइड. टुडे if I walk down Turner Road, I have gone and said, poster लगाएंगे, and I'm picking names of my friends now. Ishu said, but I shoot better than you. I have my own campaign. Ashraf said, मेरा कुछ और है. आप एक स्टोर में आप कहते हो जी मेरे पास तो 70 ब्रांड है, जो वो कर रहा है मैं क्यों करूँ? The first time I went to speak to Tanishq and said, let's do something together, the opening line was, whatever you do, don't come and say do for the industry, it should be exclusively for us. Gone is the time. आपको यहाँ बैठे कोई भी एक ऐड है जो आपकी फेवरेट है? हर हफ्ते आपके पास एक मीम होगी, एक स्टोरी होगी, एक वीडियो होगा जो आपको इंस्टाग्राम पे मिला होगा, टिकटॉक पे मिला होगा, करेक्ट? टुडेज कंज्यूमर इज वांटिंग मल्टीपल स्टोरीज. अशोक भाई ने एडवाइस दी है, मेरी फ्रेंड ने मुझे स्टाइल के बारे में बताया, मेरी माँ ने मुझे भरोसा दिया है, उसने मुझे. सो एवरी पर्सन कॉन्ट्रीब्यूट्स इन अ वे. यू कैनॉट गेट अ कंज्यूमर ऑन और बिल्ड अ ब्रांड with one messaging. When we started L'Oreal, again, he said price point. I joined on a category of hair color. And I was told, किस पे काम करना चाहते हैं? 6 रुपए का है, 5 रुपए का हेयर कलर था, तब गोदरेज का नंबर 1. That was the biggest brand, agnostic to all SECs. हमने लॉन्च किया 105 पे क्योंकि हम अफोर्ड नहीं कर पाए मशीन में. We were number 1 within 2 years. Consumer is ready to pay. आप बताइए कैसे पे करना है, क्यों पे करना है?
अशोक भाई, गुजराती पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू.
I think the main thing is every jeweler sitting over here will ask, boss मेरे लिए क्या है? आप लोग सब कहानियाँ सुनाते हो मेरे को इंग्लिश में, कार्तियर की, बुल्गारी की, ग्राफ की. यहाँ बैठ के हम हमारा ग्राफ कैसे बनाए और हम हमारी कार्टियर की इमेज कैसे सेटअप करें. तो बहुत समझने की बात है. हर ज्वेलर जो है वो कहता है कि एक काम करता हूँ, मैं एक आर्किटेक्ट को बुलाता हूँ, मेरा शोरूम जो है ना उसका फर्नीचर नया बना देता हूँ, मेरा अपग्रेड हो जाएगा टोटली. तो ये फर्स्ट स्टेप होता है एक आदमी को, जो एक अप लेवल से काम करता है, उसको एक लेवल अप स्टेज करना है तो वो पहले तो अपने शोरूम को पहले अपग्रेड कर ले. वो शोरूम अपग्रेड करने के लिए उसने माइंड भी अपग्रेड किया है, तब जाके वो शोरूम को अपग्रेड कर सकता है. बहुत बार ये सोचता है चलो एक काम करता हूँ, मैंने बहुत सुना है लोगों को कि सर मैं आपके शोरूम में आ सकता हूँ। मैं बोला क्या करना है तेरे को, आके आ ना, तो कभी भी, उसमें क्या प्रॉब्लम। नहीं नहीं सर, मैं मेरा आर्किटेक्ट को लेके आता हूँ फर्नीचर देखने के लिए। मैं बोला वो आर्किटेक्ट तेरा क्या काम का मेरा फर्नीचर देख के तेरा बनाए तो देन इज नॉट एन आर्किटेक्ट। आई सेड तो तू किसको ला रहा है। तो बेसिकली आई थिंक understanding what and how you can do things is a very important element. So, first step, yes, do upgrade yourself in some way. सोच और समझ जो है वो सबसे बड़ी बात है। सोच और समझ, लग्जरी जो है वो आपकी दिशा बदल देती है। आप ज्वेलरी बेचते हो, ऑलरेडी आप एक हायर कैटेगरी में आ गए हो। You are not selling kapda, you are not selling lakda, you are not selling lokhand, you are not selling anything, you are selling precious stones, precious metals. इसका एक कैलिबर सबसे टॉप होता है। मेरे ग्रैंडफादर जो है वो कहते थे एक छोटी सी कड़ी लगती है ना, जो एक नेकलेस के दो पार्ट को बांधती है, वो कड़ी बनाना ही बहुत बड़ा आर्ट है। उस कड़ी को अगर एक वायर खींच के सिर्फ बेंड करके सोल्डर कर दे, वो तो कोई भी हजाम कर सकता है, उसमें कौन सी बड़ी बात है। उसको बांधना है, उसको बांधने के लिए यू हैव टू फ्लैटन अप द एजेस एंड देन टाइट अप। दैट इज द वे यू फिक्स अ कड़ी। एक सिंपल लॉजिक है। आई थिंक दैट्स अ वेरी बिग स्टेप टुवर्ड्स अंडरस्टैंडिंग व्हाट इज लग्जरी। Small things that can make a difference. So what are the small things that can actually make a difference? एक तो प्रोडक्ट्स, आपकी दुकान के सारे जो प्रोडक्ट्स हैं उसमें से काफ़ी चीज़ें ऐसी है आप खरीद रहे हो क्योंकि वो बिक रहा है, लेकिन आप जब डीप सोचोगे तो आपके पास एक टिपिकल स्टाइल ऑफ क्लाइंटेल कांस्टेंट आता रहेगा जब तक आप वही सामान रखोगे। आप जब अच्छी चीज़ें रखने लग जाओगे, ऑटोमेटिकली आप अपने आप को अपग्रेड कर रहे हो, और उस अपग्रेड के अंदर आपके पास और अच्छे क्लाइंट्स भी आना शुरू हो जाएंगे। तो आप डिपेंड होते हो सप्लाई के लिए। आप ठीक है, बहुत बड़ी बात यह है कि हमारे यहाँ कोई डिज़ाइनिंग नहीं करता, कोई ज्वेलर बैठ के डिज़ाइन नहीं कर सकता। अगर कोई कस्टमर उसको दे देवे तो वो काम करवा सकता है। He can be a fantastic agent to get anything done, but वो खुद कुछ नहीं कर सकता। तो ये एक चेंज लाने की ज़रूरत है। नए जनरेशन जो आ रहा है उसको थोड़ा पढ़ाइए, थोड़ा सिखाइए, उसको बोलिए डायमंड के कोर्सेज करे, कलर्ड स्टोन के कोर्सेज करे, और ज्वेलरी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के कोर्सेज भी करें। उससे क्या होता है कि आप जो चीज़ नेक्स्ट 25-50 साल करने जा रहे हो उसका फाउंडेशन आप ऐसा डालते हो कि जो वो 4 जनरेशन तक आगे चला सकता है। तो क्यों हमारी संस्थाएं लंबी नहीं चलती इतनी। ज्वेलरी इंडस्ट्री में मोस्टली 2 या सेकंड थर्ड जनरेशन तक बिखर जाता है मोस्ट ऑफ द बिजनेसेस। एक फंडामेंटल्स प्लेस पे नहीं होते। सोच बहुत लिमिट तक होती है। प्रोडक्ट के ऊपर हमारा पूरा ध्यान होता है, इमेज के ऊपर हमारा ध्यान होता है, बट कलेक्टिव बेस्ड जो एक थिंकिंग होता है वो नहीं आता है कि हाउ डू यू आई एक्चुअली बिल्ड अप माई ब्रांड। एवरी सिंगल एलिमेंट दैट यू डू can help you to build your brand in the proper way. And what are those things that you start noting down? Small things. Yesterday we had a fantastic presentation by Dr. Ujjwal Patni, and we had almost around I think 500 to 700 people, and I tell you it was fantastic. Absolutely, I have heard that guy number of times. We have brought him at Mindspeak earlier also in 2020, but this guy opened a lot of minds and doors, and I think these are the type of people who can actually give you a lot of insights, can show you the directions, show you the way how you can bring about that small change that is required. Luxury से हमारा नाता बहुत क्लोज रहा है। I have dealt a lot with international brands in watches and in jewelry both. I worked with Cartier, we worked with Bulgari, we worked with Piaget and सारे jewelry manufacture करते हैं. And we have understood precisely how things work in their factories, in their design departments, in the minds of the sales team, in the way things are brought about. And it is small discussions that lead to very big ideas sometimes. And everyone is always hungry to know आप क्या कहना चाह रहे हो इसके बारे में. And moment they see a spark, they will note it down and they will make sure that that piece of information goes to the right desk where it could be utilized if at all they feel it is right, or they could just throw it away. But small things matter. So I think luxury सिर्फ प्राइस से नहीं बनता है. आप एक चीज़ महंगी बेचने लग जाओ उससे लग्जरी नहीं बन जाता है. लेकिन आप चीज़ को अगर सही बनाते हो तो आप चाहे वो दाम खरीद सकते हो, आप मांग सकते हो. वॉट एवर यू वॉन्ट यू कैन गेट. Public people are ready to pay today in India whatever you can ask. If you can give whatever they want. And what is what they want today? The benchmarks are so high today. We are not even very close to where the benchmarks are. So we need to start thinking about what is the best way we can find these benchmarks, try to reach them as in the best way possible and be effective and try our best to improve our systems of working, processes of working, conditions of working in our stores, improve all the elements which are there, the look, the communications, the systems, the processes, the welcome, and finally the product. And everything falls in place. You walk into Zoya, you will come to know. I have gone to the store and it is fascinating, absolutely fascinating. You can walk into some of the world's best boutiques and I'll tell you, you will still not get that feel. And you get that feel at Zoya. And I think that is a very commendable thing that happens to a person. And if a person, I am from a jewelry sector myself, so I can immediately see the change and the big thing, and I was extremely impressed on that front. So thank you so much.
So I think we should engage the audience also because I can see some eager faces. So we'll have an opinion and a few questions. So ladies first, Ishita, can you step forward? Please give her mic. So this lady, 1 minute, I'll just introduce you properly. This lady has worked for Tiffany in India and now she has joined Zoya. So I will not ask you any politically incorrect question, but I will ask you, Tiffany, how do they do business and how do they connect to Indian audience? What is the response? General, whatever you want to share, you have 3 minutes. Because there are a lot of others also.
So I think Tiffany, it's something that you aspire. Tiffany, Cartier, Bulgari, you aspire these brands. However, if I talk about business sense, there majorly 80% of the business comes from the new consumer. Because it is an aspirational brand, like somebody like me would also probably would want to acquire a Tiffany someday. So the challenge for them in India right now is to actually get a repeat customer coming to them very frequently. But however, the new urban youth, the entrepreneurs, or I would say these new people, the urban crowd that's coming in, they are all about aspiring the brands like Tiffany or Cartier. The crowd is uber lux. It's extreme luxury people from the best of backgrounds in India. So to quote a few, like we would have, there were people from, there's the Rodha founders who were the clients, then there was Netflix marketing head who were the clients. So these are the people who are actually urban, somebody who are craving luxury. And now that because these brands have stepped into our country, of course, there is a cultural shift to consume luxury. So yes, the experience has been great. However, me to join Zoya was also more inspiring because the growth chances was much higher. And I also looked at it as something that, it was a homegrown luxury label from the House of Tata that we can actually take it global to a global platform and be at the likes of a Tiffany or a Cartier. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Any questions? Please raise your hands. Richa will decide who's going to ask.
No, I was saying there the mic is needed.
Thank you. I am Sachin Jain. I am a retailer from a tier 4 town actually. So we have a Tanish there also. So talking about solitaires, solitaire is a segment, even the uber rich lady that walks in, she is very sensitive about the pricing. That's what we have seen. So how do you take care of that query or that concern of a customer? A rich lady, but still she knows about the G color or this color, and even Tanishq is selling at this price, or the Vaman Haripeta is selling at this price point. So how do you charge 300% or even 10% of it? How do you take care of that concern? Please.
Well, I guess I'm supposed to answer that.
Yes, of course.
Well, like I said, when I entered Titan, I had to forget what I knew. So the first step is to forget what we know. Second is that the price is not an outcome that's charged as a premium to adding to net profit. Firstly, there's a value add that happens along the way, right? In a Tanishq, in a Titan Solitaire, there's a reason why there are that many consumers in the year that consume. It's apparently the largest solitaire seller in the country, if I'm not wrong. And there's a reason for that, right? There are many, many intangibles attached to it. And I think our focus on raw material therefore needs to reduce to be able to communicate and educate that consumer of what exactly it means. And if you walk into a Zoya or a Tanishq store, you'll understand there is a 360-degree offering that makes that stone actually fairly equal or marginally higher than what it is. And one of the biggest wins is our exchange policy. If you've ever experienced it or any of your family members have experienced it has the most transparent and easy exchange policy. And as Warren Buffett says, if you don't know jewelry, know the jeweler. And that's where Tanishq and Zoya happen to stand to win.
So she wanted to say something about the solitaires you asked about.
So let me be honest. We are not the ones who invented it. It looks like I can't show you in close, but I'll show you later.
Rich lady, she is wearing a Zoya solitaire ring. Earring.
I better wear Zoya. But when you look at that, right, it really comes alive, like thousands of suns, like sparkling. That's the inner brilliance. And for a woman who's already bought so many solitaires, that's what speaks to her. That's what she sees herself in. And that's how we see a solitaire collection.
I also think what derives value of a particular product is not just the elements. Like she said, there's a special cut that's patented with this. So you cannot compare a solitaire to another solitaire because it's not a regular solitaire. We've always led on product front.
And I'll also give you an example. Recently we did a trunk show in a place in Bangalore. It's called Adarsh Palm Retreat. It's one of the most, where startup founders, etc. are there, right? So there was this lady who had come in and she obviously knew her way around solitaires and cards. She was discerning. She was, acha ye, what are the making charges here, etc. But, and then she, and typically how you see, right? A calculator, acha gold price ye hai, ye kya, all of that math, right? But then we actually spent some time with her and then we explained the entire story with her and you could see her eyes sparkling. Because that at that moment we knew that this is a Zoya spirit and she's here to stay.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where we are at.
So it comes down to storytelling, right?
Yes, it's not an investment. It's an emotionally driven purchase.
Yeah, few times what we have done that the customer comes from Tanishq getting that aura and she was so impressed by them and then she buys from us
It's good for you. Congratulations. पेटे साहेब तुम्हाला काय बोलायचं आहे?
So it seems that if someone wants to buy a solitaire, you should sell them to Zoya for that experience and to just make her mind keep yes.
Please do. Please do. Please do.
Like Richa mentioned, your competitor is not sitting in this room. So there are reciprocal walk-ins also that come into Tanishq and Zoya from another, because I think they've had a bad experience in terms of the promise that was given. I think here the biggest thing is that there are so many pillars that we win over a customer. It's not just on one aspect. There are multiple processes of the store experience, the retail experience, the merchandising mix, the store ambience, the symphony of the senses that come along. And I think it's Zoya itself is an experience, right? So you're not just buying into one solitaire out there.
So family jewelers are already on it. I mean, working on all these aspects, and thanks to these seminars that we learn, we take something from there, and then we just try to implement.
You're most welcome to walk into a Zoya and experience what I'm saying. Yeah, and if you think we might just end up converting you.
Visit the Bombay store. Visit the Bombay store. It's beautiful.
And by the way, they are not appointing franchisees. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ashish bhai, yes, thank you.
Thank you all for a lovely session. But still, I have that one unanswered question, that we have so many jewelers in different parts of the world who are large enough to be called world class. Biggest jewelers in India, maybe in China or Middle East, everywhere. But when we come to world class luxury brands, we veer towards European brands or some US brands. So what is that missing link that will make the largest brands in all these regions to be called as world class luxury brands? There is something that is missing. Maybe the ethnicity or the origins of those brands, or the way the society works in Europe. I don't know where it is, but I want your
Ashok
look into it and some your thoughts on that.
I think it is our inherent character, the way we work and the way we do our businesses. We have a tradition, family traditions that we have kind of maintained for over the decades. For us to have a leap jump, I know you are a very qualified engineer and you are into the business. Probably you may not have been even interested in coming into the jewelry business, but by default you came in today, and with 35 showrooms, you have reached a level of thinking today where you can say that I can now imagine where to go from here now. So the road could be from 35 to 300 and the road could be from 35 to 45, but then the next 10 stores will be the superior stores that you have not done with as yet. So I think there is a way out. I would also request you to pay a visit to Zoya for that small change that can bring about in your mind. They will warmly welcome you, I can say that. And it is an eye-opener on what we can do in a way that can improvise the whole things. We don't need to be world class. We need to be India's best. And I tell you, India's best is better
World's
than
best.
any world class. World class only comes from the concept of getting 10 times higher revenue. And that's about it. But I know after getting a 10 times higher revenue, Cartier does stock lot sales. Bulgari does stock lot sales, and they do all these stock lot. They have to get rid of stuff at the end of the year. They'll end up with dead stock also enough. So all these big brands, they can talk whatever they want. World class, tell me till today have you done a stock lot sale? Till today. Is there anything in your shelf which is probably not even 365 days old? Oh, you are far superior. Your shelf life is so fast. You are dealing with a product which is moving at a fantastic speed. You have your finger on the pulse. You have to now get a finger on the pulse, but know more about what you still can do and beyond. Because the way this country is growing, the speed at which people are becoming more wealthier, more knowledgeable, uh, uh, more interesting in life, of understanding life and to enjoy life. I think the scope and potential is fantastic, absolutely. And we can go in from there. So, yes, you are a benchmark. I cannot even tell you because I have one store and I'm talking to somebody who has got 35 stores. But yes, you can take it to a level which nobody can even think of.
When I was listening to what you were saying, two things came to my mind. I don't know whether it's true. The difference is, as you said, in our culture, as you were shocked 300% margin. That is the problem. The jewelers nowadays are, averse to taking high margins. वो हमें निकालना पड़ेगा, and that missing link is here, not anywhere else.
Very well said. Very well said.
And he is the only company in Mumbai based who used to have a very healthy profit margin compared to the entire market they work in.
I have stopped going to his store now. बहुत महंगा है.
I also think this 300% doesn't reflect in our annual report. So I don't know where that number came from because our net profits don't reflect. Otherwise, we would all leave our stock and buy Titans.
300% is the gross. Anyways, you have a different model.
I think we are running out of time now. Hemant bhai, you are the last person to ask a question or share an opinion.
I want to ask a question. I want to comment on something that Ashish just mentioned.
Okay.
I think the question that he posed was, why are we missing that notch compared to other retailers? And I will refer to one of the statements I'm sure many of you all have heard who have listened to me talk, is that it is not your aptitude, but your attitude that will determine your altitude. I think the biggest challenge is that we as jewelers over generations have not been selling a product, we have been selling an investment. And that has stopped us from taking healthier margins. That has stopped us from even calculating all of our costs. And therefore we cut corners. We don't spend on design. We don't spend on innovation. That is why we are not there at the top. That's my belief.
Fantastic. On the dot.
But I think you can have offline.
There was one jeweler who could have actually been a world-class luxury brand, but unfortunately it faltered. You know who the name is.
So lady has the last word.
When I look at this room, there are all veterans. There's 200-year legacy, generations here. You've done everything here. So, chota mo aur badi baat. We are a young brand. We are 15 years old. But how we look at things right now is luxury is a marathon and it's not a sprint. And we are looking at brands who have built legacies for 150 years and more. So we'll get there with the Indian pride, Indian soul, with the right product. We'll get there. Take some from...
बालिग होने में 3 साल बाकी है, 18 साल के बाद बात करेंगे.
I'll tell you a very, 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 very small story. My grandfather was pure gold and silver merchant and in the retail business. In the 1950s, he bought a pair of bangles and all 2-carat size stones. So it was a substantial one and it was bought from a diamond dealer who had bought it from a royal family. So my grandfather was actually financing him and he said, ये आप रख लो आपके लिए and better है कि इसको we will not sell it. So my grandfather said, yeah, you just leave it with me. I'll decide what to do. So he kept it for a week and one of the customers who came at that time, he showed it to him. He could not believe his eyes. He said, I have never even thought about a 1-carat size or a half a carat size. And you are showing me 2 carats in a row in 1950s. and in 5 minutes he bought it. He was an industrialist, and he just bought it over there straight away. And my grandfather said, you know what was the value of that bangle in those days? Some 4-5 lakhs. And he said it was huge. You cannot imagine. We thought that we had done something which was unimaginable. But what happened is the spark came in. My God, we are able to sell a 2-carat bangle before we have even sold a half-carat one. So you start right from the top and you come down, and then he got into the actual business of stocking diamond jewelry. And that's when the whole scene started, that let's start with 10 pointers and 20 pointers and 15 pointers, and that's how the whole game started. But anything can start from anywhere, and you just need that small spark, and the potential is always there. So today, again, we are talking of things that people say, oh, this is too big, this is too big. Nothing is too big, I'll tell you. What the story he told me was something that even today when I think about it, I get a shock actually. That amazing, it was just an amazing story. So, sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
Hello. Yes. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, sitting over here, and all the members, board members, to let me speak. I've wrote it down so I can speak well. In today's fast-paced, tech-savvy world, customers are looking for immersive and interactive experiences that go beyond traditional retail. So, can augmented reality and virtual reality revolutionize the way customers interact with our store and products? Does a luxury experience to Indian customers can set you apart from the competition? Because the new generation or the new upcoming jewelers actually cannot also afford piling up the stock that they need to compete with the old ones, because they already have a lot of stock. So how can we can you give me a clarity about this, the virtual reality and digital augmented reality? Does it give a luxury experience?
So I was a journalist, tech journalist for about 10 years. Okay. So I could look at it from that angle. A lot of times, when you say VR and AR, these are all ways to reach out to your customer. But the principles don't change. It is not about how you tell the story, but it's about what you'd say. And that, I think, will basically remain the same. So you have to understand what do you want the customer, especially in luxury, to experience and feel. So if it's immersive, what are you basically telling them to do? How are you making them feel? If you can concentrate on that, formats will keep changing.
Okay. Thank you so much.
I think we can still talk. I think we have to wind up this session. There's the next seminar coming up.
We are eating into Heman Bhai's time.
Yeah.
Please.
I'm sure everyone has enjoyed this session. Everyone, come on, please put your hands together. It was a brainstorming session for each one of us, and we are definitely taking home some inputs, isn't it? All right, so it's time that we start another session, but it's time to felicitate our esteemed speakers. I would request Mr. Ashok Meenawala to please felicitate a small token of love and appreciation to our panelists, starting with Ms. Devika Chitnis, PR Partnerships and Events, Zoya. Yes.
Mic off.
Amazing. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. The next, our esteemed speakers, Ms. Devika Chitnis, Ms. Richa Singh, Mr. Manan Mehta, our moderator, Mr. Anil Prabhakar, and our past chairman, GJC, Mr. Ashok Meenawala. Amazing. Put your hands together, everyone. Come on. Thank you so much once again for a wonderful session. Thank you so much, everybody. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the next session for the day, which is building a retail strategy for success in today's dynamic market scenario. And I would like to call upon stage our consultant, innovator, speaker, owner at Thought Shots, partner, AI Crafters partner, Novadia Jewels, Mr. Hemant Shah. Requesting Mr. Hemant Shah to please join us on the stage for the next session.